Okay, this ain't my first rodeo with EVE Online. I've got to set rules and objectives. Without them, this game is too big. I could get intimidated and RUNNOFT. I could get swept up into more than maybe I'm ready for, find myself over invested and strung out. Couple of objectives to keep me on course. I'll set an ISK objective and a PvP objective for the year. This year of our EVE Online Goddess 2020.
Back in my day, before you were a tickle in your capsuleer daddy's britches or whatever, I was heavily invested in pants, shirts, and the margins were good, and the prices were good, and rarity mattered. And the implication was that one day, eventually, you'd be able to walk around in stations with your friends, and you'd show off your fancy pants and your fancy boots, you know, so everybody could see them. And then I log in 2020. 2020's here, baby. You figure a long-term investment like that, a big investment into fancy pants, really pay off in 2020. I log in, and you can't even see your pants anymore. And what am I going to do with all these fancy pants? I thought by now people would be having fancy pants parties, you know? And that's just another thing I was wrong about last decade. So, I had some investments that really paid off, but fancy pants, that was a bad investment. So if you're thinking about investing in something like fancy pants right now, might hold off. My fancy pants investment might be a much longer investment than I had initially expected. Like decades maybe. Who knows? Back in my day.
My solo ISK objective will be, at first I was thinking about the play for free thing, but just doing some quick math, EVE costs $130 a year. That's about 36 cents a day. Whereas the 6,000 plex per year is about 54 million ISK per day. That's a damn sight more than what I'm pulling in on market trades on a day average. I'm going to put that one on the back burner, and if it happens, it happens. Cool. Right now, my ISK objective is large skill injectors. That's my carrot on a stick. When I've made bank, I'm going to treat myself to knocking some time off of a skill or something. My solo PvP objective, I've been toying with the idea of theory crafting tier 1 fits and having my alt manufacture every single thing I use. I don't know how feasible this would be, but I'm interested in the concept of poverty fits that absolutely anyone can use, and maybe even fits that absolutely anyone could build from high-sec minerals. I'm retired and old man star, just looking for a fight, because I'm an old man, and I used to be a star. I threw 3 touchdowns in one game like Al Bundy You see what I'm saying? As far as rules go, EVE Online can take over my whole life. I've been there, not going back. So I've got to establish some hard and fast rules. Number one, no dual boxing. When I've got two characters logged in at the same time, I'm 8 up. Number two, no Red Bull. 6 years ago, I was spending $500 a month on Red Bull. And I can't go back to that. I shit enough blood as it is. You see what I'm saying? Rule number three, casual only. No adjusting real life. I get from when the servers come up until I have to start my day, and that's it. I want to play this game like a video game, not like a lifestyle. I'm going to sit down, pump a couple quarters in like it's an arcade machine. I'm going to drink a cup of coffee, maybe smoke a bowl. 45 minutes later, I'm going to be doing something different unless I'm absolutely rolling. You feel me? I've had about, I'm like 35 days in. And, so just some notes on how things have changed since forever ago. I logged in for the first time, had a gangaplex, man. I was like, oh my God, I'm rich. Well, nah, you need 500 plex now for a month extension. And when I last played, the polycarbon engine housing was king. And the only reason to skill Destroyers 5 was to fly a Saber. Now the polycarbon engine housing kind of sucks because they've changed something about the agility of frigates. I mean, I can't tell exactly what yet, but you don't keep orbit as tight when a target moves anymore, and like no matter what, I can't. It doesn't really work the way. It doesn't feel the same. And destroyers, that wasn't even racial back in the day. You just trained destroyers. One skill book opened up all the destroyers. Now there's a gang of destroyers. So I'm gonna question my own cynicism. I'm gonna max out destroyers in 2020. I'm gonna really get a feel for their fiber. You see what I'm saying? And another thing that's changed is the amount of information resources available. There's a podcast called Less Than 10. I can listen to that while I'm at the gym, get a perspective on solo and small gang PvP, and like up to date, up to today. And that wasn't, you couldn't get that in 2012. I could watch Kill 2 go wreck people, a couple of YouTube guys, but this is different. This is really cool. They shared this Mollis fit just recently. Look up Sweetonius. He said he had a YouTube channel. I'm gonna find it. Talking in stations. It's another good example of people talking about stuff that doesn't really pertain to me necessarily, but they still throw little nuggets out now and again. Super helpful. Example: hold control, left click and drag a box in space, lock up multiple targets. Come on. That's content right there. That's how you get people to listen to your shit. You see what I'm saying? That's great for me because I don't want drones on my overview. I just zoom out, lock them up, burn them down. You see what I'm saying? Another thing talking in stations did for me was drop 10 solid hours of decade in review. I'm like 35 days into the game right now. I started back December 14th for the Bombers Bar anniversary. So just getting to listen to people talk about the kind of stuff I wanted to hear about, pretty awesome. Right when I'm getting back into the game, I've listened to all three of those Decade in Review podcasts twice now. I'm that kind of ate up with it, madman. So well done, Eve Online community. I'm taking my hat off to you. Super cool. So these are my rules and objectives just to keep me from hating Eve Online, keep me from burning myself out. I'm going to start with this Talwar, I think. I'm going to buy a skin for it just to give CCP some money. Because come on, this game's been around forever. Show them some love. See what I'm saying?